What if the man Marvel just crowned as its next Mr. Fantastic has already set fire to the very idea of the classic superhero? Stick around and you'll discover why the studio gambled on the busiest actor in Hollywood. Hear the closed-door speech that reportedly made Kevin Feige vanish from the after-party, and learn how a brand new Silver Surfer could blow Phase 7 apart before it even begins. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll sift rumor from reality, follow the hashtags as they spike, and ask whether Marvel can stretch its way out of a culture war of its own making. The fuse was lit on Valentine's Day, and it's still hissing. Miss the opening and you miss the shockwave, so keep your eyes wide. Marvel timed the reveal like a luck letter. On February 14, 2024, an illustrated retro postcard splashed across every Marvel feed. Pedro Pascal was Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby became Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn ignited as Johnny, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach lumbered in as Ben Grimm, with a bright July 25, 2025 stamped in the corner. 5 minutes later, the honeymoon was over. By evening, hashtags like #PedroIsNotRed and #FantasticSnore had flooded X with more than 200,000 mentions. According to social media trackers highlighted in a string of viral YouTube breakdowns, the critics split into two noisy camps. One insisted Pascal's 48 years stretched Reed past his comic book prime, pointing to panels where the character is a 30-something prodigy leading mankind's first space shot. The other just groaned. He was in everything from The Mandalorian to Gladiator to and worried Mr. Fantastic would feel like a rerun. Many pointed out that in Stan Lee's very first script, Reed begrudgingly admits he is barely past 30. Seeing a near 50-year-old step in, they argued, risked locking the character into father figure territory from frame one, squeezing out decades of potential evolution. Meanwhile, defenders fired back that experience as Reed's, and that Pascal's weary gravitas could actually sell the cosmic horror side of the story better than a fresh-faced Instagram star. Marvel itself stayed silent, but fans noticed the studio's celebratory tweet stalled at 800,000 likes, far below the million-plus Tom Holland pulled with his Spider-Man debut. An early hint the first family might not be uniting the family. A single day of grousing could have been yesterday's news until 24 hours later, whispers from a private LA promo event claimed, Pascal had branded traditional male heroes relics of insecure storytelling. Whether myth or memo, the leak poured kerosene on an already smoldering feed. And that's where our story truly ignites. Because the backlash was never just about birthdays or screen time quotas, it was about who gets to be heroic in 2025. And when the next leak hit the timeline, the pastel Valentine vibe gave way to a culture war bonfire. Ready for the spark that set it off? That's up next. The invitation said industry mixer, but insiders later called it a minefield. On February 15th, behind frosted doors at a Beverly Hilton ballroom, Pedro Pascal was supposed to give a breezy 5-minute tease for Fantastic Four. First steps instead. If the shaky phone clip that hit YouTube hours later is genuine, he went full scorched earth. Leaning into the mic, he allegedly called Thor a caveman with a hammer, branded Iron Man a billionaire narcissist fantasy built for Reddit bros, and wrote Wolverine off as a trauma response with sideburns. Then came the line that detonated every group chat. Traditional male power fantasies. Relics, toxic. Over. Accounts vary on how long the monologue lasted. Some swear 3 minutes. Others claim it crept past 10, but every version ends the same way. Stunned silence, followed by nervous applause from a handful of execs. Marvel never released the official recording, and the leaked clip is grainy, the audio tinny, but the damage didn't wait for fact-checking. Within hours, commentary channels spliced the quotes into red banner thumbnails, screaming Pascal cancels the MCU, while gossip blogs claimed Kevin Feige left the afterparty before dessert, furious that a hype session had turned into a TED Talk on gender politics. Whether the speech was genuine, exaggerated, or a deepfake hardly mattered. The internet took it as canon. Overnight, Reddit threads swelled with frame-by-frame Lightbreed analyses. Discord servers traded supposed transcripts, and fan podcasts debated whether Marvel's new leading man had just declared war on the very heroes who built the franchise. The fallout proved one thing: in 2025, perception is reality, and a rumor can light up fandom faster than any official trailer. But the clip was only the spark. The real wildfire started once the hashtags caught wind. Gasoline met flame at exactly 8:07 a.m. Pacific, when hashtag Fire Pedro blasted onto X's trending bar. Within 12 hours, it was joined by hashtag Woke Richards, hashtag Go Woke, Go Broke, and the snarkier hashtag Stretch Some Sense, generating a combined 190,000 posts, according to social media trackers. Cited by half a dozen reaction channels, memes spread like cosmic rays. Pascal photoshopped into a rainbow jumpsuit standing over a weeping Thor. Mr. Fantastic's face replaced with the soy face emoji. and a looping GIF titled Elastic Agenda, showing the character stretching to wrap a progress flag around the old Avengers, yet for every digital pitchfork there was a counterpunch. Progressive accounts rallied behind hashtag Read the Room, arguing that the actor merely echoed what fans of Kamala Khan and Shuri already knew, that new stories need new archetypes. Some even recut the leaked audio over triumphant orchestral scores, framing Pascal as a revolutionary rather than a wrecking ball. The back and forth pushed the topic past entertainment circles into mainstream feeds. Lifestyle blogs that never cover comics posted explainers on why Marvel Twitter is melting down. By day 2, anger had mutated into targeted action. Comment brigades descended on Marvel's YouTube channel, tanking like-to-dislike ratios on unrelated videos. A Change.org petition demanding Pascal's removal passed 50,000 signatures before breakfast, while an opposing petition titled Pedro Stays Misogyny goes sprinted toward 30,000 by lunch. Advertisers noticed one collectibles retailer quietly pulled its pre-order banner for the First Steps Lego set after its promo. Tweet became a battlefield of vomit emojis. The speed of the pylon stunned even veteran fandom watchers. One Analytics firm noted engagement spikes on par with the Brie Larson era, compressed into half the time. And still, Marvel said nothing. Each hour of silence felt like consent to whichever side you already favored, deepening the schism until even casual moviegoers could feel the tremor. But the backlash was about to find a new lightning rod, because Marvel's next herald wasn't a he at all, and her silver surfboard was aimed straight at the fandom's last nerve. Marvel thought a splash of chrome would calm the feed. Instead, it cracked it in two. When Deadline confirmed in April 2024 that Emmy winner Julia Garner would ride in as Shalaval, an established but rarely spotlighted female Silver Surfer introduced back in Silver Surfer #1, 1968, some fans cheered the deep-cut authenticity, while others accused the studio of gutting the real Surfer. Norrin Rad. For a headline, the first trailer dropped and the reaction was immediate. Reaction videos pausing on every frame of Garner's pearlescent skin, Reddit threads declaring gender swap fatigue, and one X post racking up 40,000 likes in an hour with the caption, "Not my Surfer." A pop culture blog likened the CGI glow to liquid mercury poured over a mannequin, fanning the joke that Marvel had spent $200 million to revamp a character who doesn't even crack the top 50 merch sellers. Backlash hashtags hashtag save NORRIN, hashtag ChromeClown spread, but so did hashtag read the comics, pointing out that Shalaval has been canon for decades. Garner herself joined the debate on late-night TV, admitting she'd asked the same question fans were asking: isn't the Silver Surfer a man, before learning the lore? The honesty won her sympathy from casual viewers, yet hardened. Critics only heard confirmation that Marvel was teaching the actors on the job. Data scrape accounts recorded 280,000 Silver Surfer-related posts in 48 hours, dwarfing the earlier Pedro storm. One trending thread argued it wasn't sexism, we just want the cosmic loner we grew up with. But screenshots also revealed a spike in outright slurs, proving the discourse had slipped into culture war quicksand again. Meanwhile, progressive fans plastered timelines with fan art of Shalaval igniting a pastel pink power cosmic, captioned, "Let her ride." Marvel's accounts stayed mute, turning every minute of silence into fuel. And when insider leaks hinted that Garner's reshoot scenes were expanding, not trimming her role, opponents doubled down. "Marvel's doubling the woke tax," read one viral comment. What no one outside the studio knew yet was that Marvel's own group chats were melting down faster than the feed, because the public slap fight was only half the story. Inside the House of Ideas, alarms were already flashing red. According to multiple scoop sites, the chaos meter spiked the moment early test screenings flatlined. Marvel allegedly yanked the film back to Los Angeles for third-act reshoots. So extensive, one crew member called them a page one rewrite in disguise. A YouTube finance channel claimed the price tag forced Disney to slash $15 million elsewhere in the budget, mainly marketing spots that had been earmarked for NBA Finals airtime. Worse, the video reported that the reshoot clock left VFX houses just 9 weeks to finish 400 new shots. Money men were already skittish. The Marvels had imploded at $206 million worldwide against a near $375 million bill, the franchise's first outright box office bomb, and investors were still licking those wounds when the Fantastic Four fire started. Internally, rumors flew of emergency zooms where Kevin Feige, long famous for the calm polo shirt, allegedly went gray as Galactus and snapped. "We gave him Reed Richards, not a soapbox," when briefed on Pedro Pascal's off-script rant. Studio veterans pushed for damage control. Younger staffers, reports say, defended Pascal, calling the backlash proof the reset was working. Nothing official leaked, but the very rumor of a civil war inside the bullpen kept pundits fed for days. yet the data was sending mixed signals. Early tracking still penciled in a $155 million domestic opening up from initial estimates. The controversy might be translating to curiosity. Execs faced a brutal equation: back away and look weak, or ride the lightning and hope the spectacle sold tickets faster than it burned bridges. Phones buzzed as marketing budgets were reshuffled. Trailer drop dates slid, and one insider joked that the studio had more NDAs flying around than script pages. Outside, every new leak rewrote think pieces by the hour, while analysts warned that if first steps stumbled, Disney's Phase 6 roadmap could domino straight into 22/7. No public statement, no calming cameo. Just the low hum of frantic keyboards inside Marvel's glass tower, waiting to see whether the reshoots would save the story or stamp a last-minute warning label on the most expensive reset in studio history next time. We'll watch what happens. When the old Avengers start firing back in plain sight, tanned why, Pedro Pascal's forward Instagram taunt poured nitro on the blaze. Thor swung first, and he didn't need to name. One quiet Tuesday morning, Chris Hemsworth posted a sun-drenched photo of himself gripping Mjolnir on a snowy backlot, captioned with just 5 words: "Still standing, still worthy." Within minutes, the comment thread filled with hammer emojis. And knowing Winx fans understood exactly whose vision of toxic cavemen he was answering, the swipe landed because it felt effortless. Hemsworth wasn't ranting in an interview. He was flexing legacy 15 years of box office proof that audiences still cheer for a thunder god when he shows up. Says little and saves the day. Marvel brass stayed silent, but trade reporters noticed the post overtook Marvel's First Steps teaser in total likes before lunch. Hours later, Jeremy Renner chimed in from a very different arena. The actor, still rehabbing the 30-plus broken bones he suffered in that infamous snowplow accident, shared a grainy story of his X-ray scans with the line, "Some of us built this with blood and broken bones. Don't rewrite the history." Fans read it as Hawkeye's arrow fired straight at Pascal's lecture about relic male heroes. Then came the elder statesman's up. While promoting another project, Robert Downey Jr. was asked if superhero films were past their sell-by date. He shrugged. "Never ever bet against Kevin Feige. I'd happily suit up again if the story's about sacrifice that matters." Commentators called it a velvet-gloved rebuke. The man who defined modern Marvel, pointing out that heroism isn't toxic when it costs something. Thor's hammer, Hawkeye's scars, Iron Man's poker-faced, grin, 3 subtle posts, all landing like precision strikes. Suddenly, the culture war narrative felt less like Pedro Pascal versus anonymous hashtags, and more like a showdown between Marvel's founding Avengers and the studio's future flagship. Pascal could have cooled the temperature right there. Instead, he lit the burner to high-end Instagram, felt the heat immediately. Pedro Pascal's answer arrived the next night at 10:14 p.m. Pacific. A neon pink Silver Surfer, mistakably female, hovering over a cracked Iron Man helmet. Cosmic glare reflected in bruised chrome. 4 words glowed beneath the image: "The future is fam." Within 30 minutes, the post crossed 500,000 likes. Within an hour, hashtag Woke Richards and hashtag Fire Pedro were trending worldwide. Reaction channels that had been milking leaked panel audio all week now had a thumbnail gift from heaven. Supporters framed the post as pure manifesto, a hero surfing into tomorrow while the old guard lies. Shattered. They clipped the image into TikTok set to Lizzo lyrics and rewrote Twitter bios to forward. Conservative pundits saw something closer to a victory lap over straight white savior cinema, and rolled out side-by-side memes of Pascal wiping RDJ off his shoe. Memes are metrics. In 8 hours, the graphic spawned 42,000 unique reposts according to Tag Tracer Analytics. More than the film's teaser had earned in its first week. Pascal poured on more fuel in his stories, reposting a fan edit of an all-female Avengers lineup with one caption: "Balance." Screenshots spread faster than the originals because Marvel's official accounts still hadn't said a word. Silence again felt like consent to whichever side you favored. And both sides screamed even louder. The studio's damage control team now faced a paradox. Deleting or disavowing the post would only martyr their new leading man. Endorsing it could alienate the legacy stars still under contract. Insiders whispered about all-hands Zooms and a fresh round of Crisis BR consultants, but nothing public came. Ticket tracking sites, meanwhile, logged a curious spike. Pre-sales for First Steps actually ticked up 6%. The classic controversy kick. Yet numbers can't measure goodwill. Threads in long-running Marvel subreddits splintered. Lifelong collectors announced canceled subscriptions. And casual fans asked the question Marvel dreads most: do I even need to see this one? Pascal, unmoved, pinned the surfer post to his profile like a war flag. Marvel can ignore a rumor. It can't ignore a mutiny. Next, we'll watch how a single pink waveboard forced Kevin Feige to choose between the brand he built and the future he just hired. For the first time in 15 years, Marvel's marketing team has two timelines taped to its war room wall. The blue schedule is the traditional roadmap cast featurettes, late-night cameos. A triumphant Hall H panel unveiling Galactus in 90-foot IMAX glory. The red schedule is the crisis Tricopets, pre-positioned, talent coached to dodge political crossfire, and contingency trailers that dial Pedro Pascal's screen time down by 40% if the sentiment charts. Keep bleeding. Investors prefer the blue track. Risk officers sleep beside the red. Early tracking still hints at a $155 million US opening, healthy, but soft for Marvel's first family. The deeper worry is retention. Surveys show a post-Endgame audience willing to sample any MCU debut once, but far less willing to return when backlash eclipses buzz. If First Steps lands below a 2.5 multiplier, the studio's Phase 7 slate may need a wholesale reshuffle. Behind the curtain, two factions have hardened. One argues that Pascal's unapologetic stance is the perfect on-ramp to a more diverse cosmos. Introduce Galactus Pass reads mantle to a younger hero, and watch Gen Z TikTok do free promo. The other faction circles spreadsheets that still crown Iron Man merch king and remind everyone that Hemsworth's Hammer dwarfs Disney Plus signups every time he swings it. Both sides agree on one truth. The next 18 months will prove whether Marvel can keep evolving without severing the roots that fed it a decade of dominance. In a leaked internal memo, AVP tried to end the debate with a single line: a universe should be big enough for every hero unless the heroes scare half the universe away. That memo now circulates like a prophecy. If First Steps shatters records, Pedro Pascal will look like the visionary who dragged Marvel into its next era. If it stumbles, his forward Instagram flex may go down as the moment the studio tripped on its own cape. So here we are, a fandom split, a studio silent, and a leading man surfing straight into the storm. In the last 20 minutes, you've seen why Marvel bet on Hollywood's busiest star, heard the rant that supposedly emptied an after-party, and watched a chrome-plated controversy slice the timeline in half. Pedro Pascal might redefine what it means to be Fantasticor, write the franchise's obituary in neon pink. Either way, the fuse is burning toward July 25, 2025, and every scroll adds heat. If you're ready for the next spark, the moment it hits, you know what to do. Stay curious, keep watching, and I'll be here the instant the cosmic dust shifts.